Welcome students. In this video, we will discuss the type-cum-trait approach. In this, we will discuss in detail the Eysenck's theory of personality. This type-cum-trait approach tries to synthesize the type and trait approaches both. While Cattell has tried to use the factor analysis technique to give some basic dimensions to personality. By enumerating 16 basic traits, Eysenck, he went a step further in adopting factor analysis technique by extracting second order factors and grouping traits into definite personality types. Eysenck further explains how individual behavior is organized and acquires the shape of a definite type with the help of an illustration, which is in the next. According to Eysenck, there are 4 levels of behavior organization. With the help of this diagrammatic representation, Eysenck has tried to explain the organization of individual behavior. At the lowest level are the specific response level. They grow out of particular responses to any single act. For example, blushing is a specific response. At the second level is the habitual response level, which is similar to that of the response of specific response level. For example, inability to make friends, hesitance in talking to a stranger, being unsocial. So these are some of the examples of the behavior which leads to the habitual response level. At the third level is the organization of habitual acts into traits. These habitual acts, which are similar, are said to belong to one group and they are called traits. For example, in this particular example, the specific response was blushing. The habit was the same. For example, not talking to others, being unsocial, being hesitant, and these all leads to a trait which is shyness. The other traits like persistence, rigidity, subjectivity, these are the trait levels of that particular person. This is the third level. The fourth level is the organization of these traits into a general type. A type is defined as a group of correlated traits. These all traits have been grouped into a type termed as introversion. That means a person who has such kind of trait level can be labeled as introvert person. That means that person has the introvert personality. Ultimately, a distinct type is obtained at the final stage. A person can now be classified as an introvert if he has traits at the third level, habits and habit system as described at the second level, and response specifically at the first level. Eysenck's work has clearly demonstrated that human behavior and personality can be well organized into a hierarchy with specific responses at the bottom and the definite personality at the top. In fact, in this work, what was described as the basic dimension in the form of personality traits by Cattell has been further regrouped fewer dimensions for the description of human behavior and personality. Eysenck came out with 3 basic dimensions which he defined as clusters or groups of correlated traits through his work. They were introversion, extroversion, neuroticism, that is emotional instability and emotional stability, and the third one was psychoticism. According to Eysenck, The three basic dimensions refer to definite personality types, and the type as applied by him stands clearly for a dimension along a scale with a low end and a high end for putting people at various points between the two extremes. In the first dimension, that is introversion, extroversion, he includes highly extrovert people at one end and highly introvert people at the other end with different characteristics. The extrovert having are social, outgoing, impulsive, and the introvert which recognized as quiet, reserved people, disciplined, well-ordered people. He believed that purely extrovert or purely introvert people were rarely found, and he therefore preferred to use a dimension, that is, a continuum ranging from introversion to extroversion, instead of naming types as introverts or extroverts. The second major dimension, as suggested by Eisner, involves emotional instability at the lower end and emotional stability at the upper, describing people as neurotic or non-neurotic. A person's level of neuroticism is determined by the reactivity of their sympathetic nervous system. A stable person's nervous system will generally be less reactive to stressful situations, remaining calm and level-headed. Someone high in neuroticism, on the other hand, will be much more unstable and prone to overreacting to stimuli and may be quick to worry, anger, or fear. They are overly emotional and find it difficult to calm down once upset. The third dimension, which Eisner added later on at the year 1966, is psychoticism. That is, lacking in empathy, cruel, aggressive, and troublesome. This has been related to high level of abnormality. The higher the abnormality, the higher the level of psychoticism, with low levels related to more normal balanced behavior. The people on high dimension tend to be intensive, egocentric, impersonal, while those scoring low are found to be more empathetic and less adventurous and are bold. Eisner has also tried to make use of Cattell's basic dimensions for the measurement of one's personality by developing an appropriate set of questions in the form of two well-known inventories, the Maudsley Personality Inventory and the Eysenck Personality Inventory. The Eysenck's theory has become a cornerstone theory. It is the first created theory which has laid foundation for the scientific study of personality and human behavior. One good element of his theory is that it takes into account both nature and nurture. Eysenck theory argues strongly both biological predispositions towards certain personality traits combined with conditioning and socialization during childhood in order to create our personality. It closely focuses on the individual differences and principle of behavioral changes. His theory has contributed to the study of education, genetics, psychopathology, and political ideologies. This was all about Eysenck type-cum-trait approach. Thank you for watching.